This is Gary Atensi with CNTV, and today we're in New Jersey. I'm here with Papa J, Death Doula. In 2023, has been providing an extra layer of support based on the needs of his clients with a goal to improve the quality of life at the end of life.
A friend of mine asked me if I could help. Her mother died in Denver, and her sister lived in Maine, and the other sister lived in London. And can I help stream the funeral service from Denver to, and I said, sure. And I got myself a camera and a better camera, better microphones, set it all up at the funeral home. And the funeral home fell in love with what I did to the point in the next 3 or 4 years, I did over 200 funerals streaming. Sometimes they were connecting me with people that weren't doing funerals in the chapel, and I would do virtual funerals and life celebrations. I've done 2 life celebrations that are live people who just wanted to, they knew they were dying, and I grew into their families. And the last one was a live person, and he's the one that came to me and said, you would do very well as a death doula. I'm enjoying it tremendously with and I'm still trying to determine the word to describe my patients, my friends, my clients. I think patients, it's.
Yeah, I mean, we as Americans, while we enjoy living our life, we do not enjoy talking about the end of our life. I mean, is the inevitable end-of-life topic almost taboo for many people?
It is, and there's an organization out of London called deathcafe.com, which started out years ago, where you got to a coffee shop and you sat around and talked about death, but not from a point of view of grief, but a point of view of opening up the communications so that you would talk to your friends, family, and loved ones both ways. I talk with my son has got lupus and a form of lymphoma, and he knows how I want to die, and I know how he wants to die, and we have those conversations. Writing it down in a will and then dying, and then your family reading the will, they could just rip up the page. They don't have to go by it. But if you talk about it and you get it expressed, make sure that they understand your feelings. I have a patient. The patient is actually not dying yet. She's got Lou Gehrig's, but her mother is in stage 4 cancer. And one of the things my friend said that she wishes her parents would die and stop their suffering. And I said to her, well, have you talked to them about what they want? And she went back and talked to her mother, and then came back and told me that her mother said, I want to live every possible moment with my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. And I will do everything I need to do to fight this cancer in order to have that time with those people. Excellent. So it's just about having the conversations. And we don't in America. We don't in the Western world. And I'm hoping that to have a revolution where people start talking about it. My non-medical holistic support encompasses emotional, spiritual, and practical care. And then I can relay whatever I'm told to the loved ones, because sometimes when you're dying, the loved ones don't hear you, or they hear you but don't listen. So sometimes you need a mediator. That's what I'm doing. I'm comforting somebody. As I texted you earlier this morning, I spent with a patient, taking her to 3 different doctors, and I've been doing her driving because she's not allowed to drive. There is a practical part.
Absolutely.
Is for the families and friends and families, loved ones. I lump them all together as loved ones. It goes beyond the moment of death because people have to go through a grieving process. And again, they could need the comfort and support of somebody. Once you die, the doctors stop talking to the families.
The benefits,
the whole palliative care, even when my mother died and she was in palliative care, we never heard from any of them after my mother died. And I'm going to throw out another quote. Atul Gawande, who is a neurosurgeon who's now a palliative care doctor, wrote a book, and he came up with a list of 4 or 5 questions to ask people who are at that stage. What are you willing to give up or not give up in order to live in pain and suffering? And one man answered, as long as I can eat chocolate ice cream and handle the TV remote, I want to live. It really does give me chills down my spine when I talk to people and I get the thanks from them and the appreciation from them for having the conversation.
I mean, a doctor may be able to delay the death of a patient, but a death doula can increase a person's quality of life. I mean, all we ask is to be allowed to remain the writers of our own story.